Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Manchester United will back Ole Gunnar Solsjaer within the next week, and we will spend over £100 million on Jadon Sancho and Alex Telles. Now, you already know the news on Alex Telles. We are convinced that we will sign Alex Telles before transfer deadline day. Porto did reveal their asking price recently. They said they wanted just over £18 million. We want to get Alex Telles for around £12 million. Now, I heard as well that Porto have upped their valuation. Now, I think reportedly they want just over £24 million. But Fabrizio Romano recently revealed that Manchester United are still in negotiations with Porto, to get Alex Telles on the board. He has agreed the terms. He's agreed a 5-year contract with Manchester United worth around £70,000 a week, but no fee has yet come to an agreement. Now, a few weeks ago, Alex Telles' agent was in Manchester to thrash out a deal for his client to join Manchester United. Now, he was saying last week that he wanted to complete a move to Manchester United. He has got a release clause of around £36 million. He's got around 10 months left on his current contract with Porto. So from a Porto perspective, they want to cash in for him in this summer transfer window rather than letting go on a free next year. He's enjoyed quite a few years with Porto. Before he was at Porto, he was at Inter Milan. He was on loan with Inter Milan. Before that, he was at Galatasaray. When he was younger, he played for Grêmio and Juventude. By the way, Porto, I think, have to pay around a 10% fee to Galatasaray if he is sold. But he is the age of 27. He's predominantly a left back. And I said it's very, very beneficial if Manchester United can get a left back in. We have got two predominant left backs in the team at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw. He's our first choice left back. My element of concern though about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone, and obviously we've got Brandon Williams. He's our backup left back. But Alex Telles has already said that, he wants to leave Porto and he's interested in coming to Manchester United. Their boss last week made an admission, Porto, saying that Alex Telles could leave within the next fortnight. So he could be our second signing in this summer transfer window. Now, the news as well on Jadon Sancho. I think Jadon Sancho's transfer to Manchester United is inevitable. And we are preparing to put a final bidding of £90 million for Sancho. So we're going to offer £75 million up front with £15 million in add-ons. And he did say, we could wait until the final week of the transfer window to make a move for Sancho. Now, Dortmund have recently been interested in Ismaila Sarr from Watford. So, like I said, Ismaila Sarr could be crucial in Manchester United getting Sancho. Sancho recently said he's desperate to link up with 3 players at Manchester United, and that's Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. He also said Marcus Rashford is the most skillful player he has ever played with. Now, I think that the terms have been agreed for Sancho on a long-term contract, like David Ornstein from The Athletic recently revealed. Fabrizio Romano also revealed it before. But we've just got to come to an agreement on a fee with Dortmund. And throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. because Borussia Dortmund's valuation has been around £108 million. We've not been determined to meet their valuation. Now, Sebastian Kehl, who's Borussia Dortmund's head of football, he said the other week that Sancho is staying at Dortmund and he won't be leaving, and he says Man United haven't got any chance of getting him in a cut price deal because we've been trying to get him for like 60 or 70 million pounds. Lucien Favre, Borussia Dortmund's boss, said a few weeks ago that Sancho will stay at Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund said to us last month that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho went out on pre-season. And at that point, Sancho and Manchester United did look dead in the water. He mentioned as well that we'd abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021. But it's very imperative that we sign him in this summer transfer window, because if we don't, we may never sign him, because next year we will face more competition for him, because the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid and even Liverpool and that, maybe even perhaps Chelsea, could go in for him. I think Sancho was a boyhood Chelsea fan. But we was hoping to sign Sancho by the time we played Crystal Palace, but obviously no, that didn't happen. Solskjaer's held quite a few negotiations with Sancho. But Solskjaer's been infuriated over this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, because it has gone on for a while now, hasn't it? You know, we have been in for him for like the last 3 years. You know, he is our number one priority target. Like I mentioned on my video I did earlier on today, the Daily Express, I think it was the Daily Express, I know it's not a reliable source, but they just said that Sancho's ticked to sign a 7-year contract with Manchester United. I think Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million in for Man City back in 2017. You know, the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities, and Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. We have been looking at a lot of alternatives to Sancho recently. You know, we have been looking at Ivan Perisic. We've also been looking at Ousmane Dembele. We've also been looking at Anthony Fati Vieira. You know, we've also looked at Ismail Assar, because he's cheaper solutions than Sancho. You know, so I'm hopeful that we can sign them 2 players before the transfer window shuts. Quite frankly, Manchester United do need more signings, you know, if we are to mount a title challenge up this season. And so far, we have only made 1 signing, and that was Donny van de Beek. And he's a very, very good signing, is Donny van de Beek, because he has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. We obviously know got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million, didn't we? And Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year deal with the football club. You know, but so far, Donny van de Beek's played quite a few games for us. You know, he played in the 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa in pre-season. That was his debut, did well. Did well when he came on in the Crystal Palace game, you know, scored on his Premier League debut, you know, did well against Luton. Also did well yesterday when he came off the bench against Brighton. But we know that we need more than him. And Solskjaer has recently revealed that he has been very, very infuriated with our board. Because up until this point, I don't feel as though Solskjaer has been backed enough. And I've said time and time again, I think he does deserve more backing as Manchester United manager. You know, you can see that Solskjaer's trying to change the culture of the club, and he's obviously, you know, trying to improve the squad. But we've been critical of Woodward and the Glazers for several years anyway. You know, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012, and the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. So Woodward's been with us around 8 years, and the Glazers have been with us around 15 years. But, you know, this summer transfer window has been Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has spent around £240 million at the club, and I will credit him. He has made some good signings. He's obviously brought James, Pisaka, Maguire, Fernandez, Igalo, and Donny van der Beek in. He's also brought a few academy players into the club. It's good that we've got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. We've seen the likes of Lukaku leave, Sanchez, Herrera, Fellaini, Darmian, Young, Valencia, Angel Gomez. Don't forget we've loaned a few players out. We loaned Heath Tron out to Werder Bremen. I think Dylan Levitt went out on loan to Charlton. Didn't we loan James Garner out? And I think we did loan Joe Pereira out for another season. And I just like the way as well that Solskjaer has promoted the youth. So these definitely positives to take from his tenure so far. Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now almost 2 years. And, this season is big for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because obviously, this season is his second full season at the football club. And Solskjaer knows that he's got to exceed these expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. Now, I'm hopeful that we can win some silverware this season because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And plus, we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. I think we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title. I think we're probably around 5 or 6 signings off from, winning the Premier League title, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Some Manchester United fans don't think we're going to ever win the title under Solskjaer because maybe they believe that Solskjaer's not good enough to win the title with the club because let's be honest, Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree. Man United is obviously the third club in his managerial career, but he has gained experience, reflecting how long he has been at the football club now. But obviously, I want us to win the league again. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season. We are the most successful team in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. You know what I mean? But like I've said to you in regards to Solskjaer, I don't have much of a perception on him at the moment. I think we've got to delve more into the season, for me to give you more of a perception on him. Now, obviously, it was a bad start to the season, losing 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Obviously, that was our worst defeat on an opening day of a Premier League season since 1995, which is 25 years ago. And it was the second season in a row that we'd lost to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Solskjaer was partly to blame for that defeat because he didn't get it all right. And I've always said that Solskjaer's decision making has got to improve because in a lot of games he's managed at Manchester United, he's being very tactically naive. And Victor Lindelof, obviously, he was accountable for all 3 goals from Crystal Palace. And after that defeat to Palace, I think quite a few Manchester United fans would have been criticising Solskjaer. I criticise him, when he deserves to be criticised, but obviously I wasn't demanding him out. At the first part of last season, I was criticising Solskjaer, just like a lot of Manchester United fans were, because at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And I thought Solskjaer was going to end up getting the sack. I really, really did. And then all of a sudden, we turned it around. But we've bounced back anyway, we've won our last 2 games. Obviously, beat Brighton yesterday by 3-2 at the Amex Stadium. Solskjaer's made an admission saying that Manchester United were lucky. On my recent videos, I give you the talking points from the game. They are. Obviously, they had to intervene twice. They intervened for a Brighton penalty. It had initially been given by the referee, but VAR had overturned it. I think it was Paul Pogba that had fouled Aaron Connolly, like I mentioned. And obviously, we got a penalty right at the end. Obviously, Harry Maguire had headed it on and it had hit Maupay. Solly March cleared it off the line and the whistle went. And then obviously, we appealed for the penalty and obviously, VAR had obviously, given the penalty. And Bruno Fernandes has scored in the 100th minute of the game. Bruno Fernandes also got an assist in the game, which was good to see. Bruno Fernandes obviously, gave the penalty away. He obviously, fouled Tariq Lamptey, and obviously, Brighton got that penalty. But I still think Bruno Fernandes, did well. Rashford did well, got his name on the score sheet. Also had a goal disallowed. Greenwood, he did well as well. He also had a disallowed goal. But, like I mentioned, Brighton hit the woodwork 5 times. I think Trossard actually hit the woodwork 3 times. I thought he hit twice, but it's actually 3 times he hit the woodwork. Solly March also hit the woodwork for Brighton, but they hit it 5 times in total. Did you know, Brighton? But all that matters is, Manchester United got the win. And obviously, before the win against Brighton, we beat Luton in the Carabao Cup 3-0. So we are into the Carabao Cup 4th round where we do play Brighton next week. So we are playing them twice. It's the second time we are playing Brighton in a matter of days. But that win yesterday against Brighton, was our first league win, wasn't it? And that's 2 seasons in a row now. We've beaten Brighton at the Amex Stadium. But it was a game Manchester United obviously had to win. And I said it was going to be a tough game, didn't I? Because Brighton have enjoyed a pretty good start to the season. Won their last 3 games prior to yesterday's games. But yeah, our next league game is obviously Tottenham. That's going to be the first hard one for Manchester United. But last season was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club, and to be honest with you, he did exceed most of his expectations. He obviously, got us qualification for the Champions League. He also got us third, and we progressed to 3 semi-finals. So that's obviously, good. But I've always said to you, haven't I, we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, because Man United aren't known for a sacking football club, despite the fact that we have sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. We obviously sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. They've all been sacked. And we haven't only had different managers with different philosophies, we've spent close to the £1 billion range on players in the last 7 years. We've recruited over 30-odd players since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson's retirement, and that was the FA Cup and the Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. So there you go. I think Solskjaer's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at the moment. But like I said, when Solskjaer first came in at Manchester United, he was inheriting a squad that was worth £700 million, obviously before he made his signings. So he's still inheriting a lot of deadwood, is Solskjaer, don't forget, And like I said, we can't only focus on the incomings in this summer transfer window. We've also got to focus on the outgoings. Departures are proving very difficult for Manchester United. I said it's very imperative that we sell players in this summer transfer window because obviously, we'll generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. And quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. We know that Solskjaer is going to keep David De Gea as number 1 for this season, but David De Gea has been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. This is David De Gea's 10th season now at Manchester United. But I've said, Solskjaer should put Dean Henderson as number 1 because I think now Dean Henderson is reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper because he has got that experience behind him. Don't forget, Dean Henderson recently made his full debut for the club in the 3-0 win against Luton Town. But I think Dean Henderson will be our number 1 in the next year or 2. I really, really do. So, yeah. And we know that obviously Harry Maguire is going to remain Manchester United captain for this season. This season's Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Manchester United. As it stands at the moment, he's the second most expensive sign at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts since Solsjaer came in. There's some players that deserve contracts, but there again, there's some players who we give contracts to who we shouldn't have, given contracts to. But don't get me wrong, I think Manchester United have got a good squad. Got a lot of good players in that team. We've got Anthony Martial. I think, he's done very, very well under the Solskjaer era. Last season, he was exceptional. I thought he was also very, very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We paid £36 million for Anthony Martial from Monaco back in 2015. We know now that he plays in that number 9 because he's very, very effective, is Martial, in that central position, even though it isn't his predominant position. And Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years now at the football club, but we'll keep him anyway. I think Rashford's a very, very good player. He's improved under Solskjaer. Like I said, scored his first Premier League goal of the season yesterday. Not so long ago, Marcus Rashford recovered from an ankle injury. He also had a back injury for us last season, did Marcus Rashford, didn't he? Don't forget. And he was out for a few months. But Rashford's a foreseeable future for the club. Rashford's been part of the club for years anyway. He's been with us around 15 years because he's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016 as Marcus Rashford. And since then has become an integral part of our team. We know now that Marcus Rashford does play on that left-hand side. I've also got to say, Mason Greenwood's done very, very well under him. Mason Greenwood's definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. Solskjaer recently held negotiations with Mason Greenwood regarding his private life. Don't forget we give Mason Greenwood the number 11. He's the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. Last season Mason Greenwood was wearing the number 26. He's already made an impact already at the start of this season. He really, really has. I've also got to say, the signings that Solskjaer's brought in so far have done very, very well. For the vast majority of last season, I was actually very, very impressed with Daniel James. But from my own perception, I thought Solskjaer overplayed him. But when we played him a lot last season, we did actually put him on that right, even though he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. We got Daniel James in a deal worth £18 million from Swansea last summer. Now obviously he's finding game time hard. He found game time hard towards the end of last season. And there's rumours of obviously, Daniel James going to Leeds United, isn't there? And Wan-Bissaka, I think he's a very, very good player. This season's Wan-Bissaka's second season at Manchester United. Last season was his first season. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer, but he's just got to improve his attacking intent. That's all he's got to improve. But I think his defensive contributions always been very, very good. But if he wants to emulate Trent Alexander-Arnold's level, then we've got to see more attacking intent from him. And I don't think he was too good yesterday either against Brighton. Far too exposed on that right-hand side. Harry Maguire. I think he's had some good games as a Manchester United player. He's also had quite a lot of bad games as well, I want to put into the equation. He's made mistakes quite a few times since he's come in. Like I said, this is Harry Maguire's second season at the football club. But yeah, still a good centre-half is Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, he's done very, very well so far. Very, very good player. Was it last season Bruno Fernandes won some Matt Busby Player of the Season, I think it was, or Player of the Year. I think he's won Premier League Player of the Month a good 3 or 4 times, reflecting on his good run of performances. Odion Ighalo. To be honest with you, I've been very, very impressed with him since he came in on deadline day in January. The main explanation why we recommended Odion Ighalo in is because Rashford at the time was injured and wanted a cover up to Marcus Rashford. Ighalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season, and just after lockdown was well, the first lockdown, that was just after the first lockdown, we extended Odi Nagalo's loan until January 2021. And Donny van de Beek, he's also a very, very good player as well. So yeah, I've been impressed, with Solsjaer's signings. I think Fred McTominay and Matic have all done well under Solskjaer, and I think they will stay at the football club. Matic will stay at the football club for probably another 1 or 2 years, because Matic is now aging up. Fred, he'll stay at the club for at least another season, I think. And I think, McTominay, he's a foreseeable future for Man United. That's what I do believe. Paul Pogba, like I said, I think he will stay for at least another season. We could end up getting Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club, to end the uncertainty over his future. Now, Paul Pogba hasn't enjoyed a good start to the season. He was poor against Crystal Palace, gave the ball away a lot. He was poor yesterday against Brighton as well, was Paul Pogba, and was lucky to be still on the pitch, in my opinion. So he's got to improve. But I thought towards the end of last season, Paul Pogba made a fantastic impact, and his combination with Bruno Fernandes in that midfield was very, very good. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. And quite a few weeks ago now, I think it was actually before the season started, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, came out and said that Pogba will stay and he will hold talks over a new contract. And Fabrizio Romano revealed before that Pogba wants to stay at Man United. I think this is now his 5th season at the club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. Last season, I didn't have a lot of perception on Paul Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury, and he sustained a few injuries as a Man United player. But I still think Paul Pogba is a very, very good midfielder. Luke Shaw, I think he's also a very, very good left back for Manchester United. Like I said, my element of concern about him is injury prone. Luke Shaw's enjoyed a good 6 years now at the football club. Obviously, we got him from Southampton back in 2014 for like £30 million, Luke Shaw. Brandon Williams, I've also been very, very impressed with him. Not so long ago, we gave Brandon Williams the number 33 shirt. I think he's the first player to wear the number 33 for Man United since Paddy McNair. Not so long ago, Brandon Williams signed a 4-year contract with the football club, but he is our backup left back. Victor Lindelof, he's had some good periods at Man United and he's had some bad periods. At the moment, he's going through a difficult period, isn't he? He's Victor Lindelof. I don't think we'll sell him, I think we will keep Victor Lindelof for at least another season. I think, we need a centre-half to go alongside Maguire, someone on, Maguire's level. But we're not getting a centre-half in this summer transfer window. I think Solskjaer wants to get a centre-half at some point next year, because we have actually got around 7 centre-halves in the team. But we're looking to offload around 3 of our centre-halves, and that's Smalling, Rojo and Phil Jones. You know what I mean? Lindelof's enjoyed around 3 years at Manchester United. Paid £30 million in from Benfica back in 2017. Eric Bailly, he will stay at the football club for at least another season. I think he's a good centre-half, is Eric Bailly. My element of concern, though, about Bailly is too injury-prone. Alex Tuanzebe, I think he'll also stay at the club. He's been out with injury, though, as Alex Tuanzebe, hasn't he? And the guy, he will stay at the football club for at least another season. Could possibly sell him in the summer of 2021. Dean Henderson, he'll also stay as well. So we've got a lot of good players at Manchester United, but obviously there's players at the team that obviously are getting a lot of chances in that, and the players we're looking to get rid of, like I've mentioned, is Lingard. We want to get rid of Pereira. We want to get rid of Smalling, Rojo, Jones, like I mentioned. We want to get rid of Diego Dalot. Sergio Romero, he's open to leaving the club because Romero is now third choice goalkeeper at Man United. He's not going to want to stay at Man United as third choice goalkeeper, is he? So there you go. We'll be doing another video later on, by the way, guys, as I always do on this channel. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.